Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful late morning here on the West Coast. Power Summer Collegiate League Baseball. Our final matchup of the day. It'll be the Colonials taking on the Northstars. I'm Evan Schmeiser, joined by Marshall Garvey. And Marshall, this is a big game right here. So the Colonials are the 13th seed in the entire league right now. The Northstars aren't that far ahead of them at 4-7-2. Colonials 3-8-2. So exactly one game separates the two teams. And there's only 2 days left in the regular season after today's games all finish up. Postseason begins on Wednesday, and the 12 and 13 seeds, the bottom two teams in the league, will play a one-game playoff, essentially like a play-in. So Colonials are the 13th seed right now, and a loss for them could all but solidify their 13th spot. But if the Northstars end up losing, they could fall down to the 12th or 13th spot.
Yeah, it is. For lower-ranking teams, there's a lot at stake here. Want to end the season strong. Not much time left to do it. It looks like we're about to get underway.
We saw the A's and the Blue Sox. Both of them won today to maintain a tie at the top of the standings, now 11-3. Colonials will take their first set of at-bats. Tyler Darnell, Levi Hall, Jed Down will be the first three men who come to the plate, and they'll do it against Austin Sheldon. This will be the fourth game that Sheldon has pitched in. ERA just south of 5, 16 and a third innings. 16 strikeouts, 10 walks, pretty reasonable spot for the walk total. And we're underway. 1-0 the count to Darnell, seeing 357. By far one of the best hitters in this Colonials lineup. 357, no extra base hits, 3 RBIs. Huge amount of walks, 9 walks, on base percentage well over 500. 2-1 the count to Darnell. Also be a really interesting game. Two of our resident analytics guys are essentially the acting managers today for the Colonials. They have a good relationship with the coach. The coach says, hey, go give it a shot. They took advantage of the opportunity, and taking strike two is Darnell as he tossed the bat aside.
This is the review and scenario that they'll be managing like it's Game 7 of the World Series. It'll be a battle of the minds.
Yeah, so they're each essentially taking on roles of their own. Like one guy's in charge of who they're going to get warmed up. One had more of a role in deciding the lineup and substitutions. That ball's grounded out to shortstop. And over the first, nice play, Cole Kelly, and we're underway, 1 out. So that'll bring Levi Hall to the plate. He's batting second, playing left field for the Colonials. Hitting .333, a double, a triple, 6 RBIs. He'll settle into the left-handed batter's box. Swinging early, comes up empty, strike one. Colonials and Northstars come into this game 11th and 12th in the league in total hitting, respectively. Same positions as far as their OPS is concerned as well. Colonials a bit higher in on-base percentage. They are the middle of the pack as far as drawing walks is concerned. So a decent chance we'll see a pitcher's duel.
Yes, we had a pitcher's duel going in our first game of the day until the later innings when both of Snowbirds and Blue Sox offenses finally broke out. But I think we got a good shot at pitcher's duel for all of this game.
A ball, 2 strikes to count to Hall. And deliveries in the dirt, 2-2.
Levi Hall, a sophomore out of Webster University, comes in today batting .333.
Up high, 3-2. As far as pitching is concerned, Northstars and Colonials both middle of the pack as far as the ERA is concerned, right smack dab in the middle. A check swing, it's called high, and he went around according to the field umpire. Levi Hall was already walking to first base, and he's been rung up. So 2 quick outs for Austin Sheldon and the Northstars.
Probably already mentioned this, but these are two of the lower ranked teams. They are in the cellar in terms of team offense. Colonials third to last and Northstars second to last. Only the Bombers rank lower in terms of team batting average. So yeah, I do think.
We already mentioned middle of the pack as far as pitching numbers are concerned, ERA more specifically. As John Downham takes down low for a ball, he's hitting .250. Downham will be a designated hitter today.
Usually used to seeing him play catcher.
Double home run to his credit, 3 RBIs. He bats with nobody on base and 2 outs. Joel French is just finishing up his warm-up tosses in the bullpen. He'll be the starting pitcher today for the Colonials. That ball's ripped foul into the bullpen down the right field line. Good swing from Downham. We've seen some of his extra base power. He's also walked 11 times when the leader's in that category. That one's popped up. Left side going out to get is Killian, and he makes the over-the-shoulder catch. 1, 2, 3. Go the Colonials. Good inning for Austin Sheldon. We'll go to the bottom of the first. Joel French will take the mound. To the bottom of the first inning we go. We just saw Austin Sheldon with a clean 1, 2, 3 top of the frame. First 3 batters for Joel French will be Nathaniel Huerta, Connor Caldwell, and Joey Thomas. For the Northstars, Joel French will be the 5th game that he's pitched in. He's gone 9 2/3 innings, 9 earned runs to his credit, 15 strikeouts, 15 walks. Walks something to keep an eye on as he delivers up high, ball 1. So we get started right here. Relatively high strikeout guy. Big 6'10", 225 lefty out of Linfield University. Trying to give the Colonials a chance to win, get out of that 12-13 play-in possibility. After today, every team will only have 1 or 2 regular season games remaining, as the regular season will conclude on Sunday.
Just real how fast it's gone by.
And a 3-0 count to get things started to Huerta. Nathaniel Huerta hitting a .111 this season. A double, an RBI to his credit. Bit of iron base since. He's walked 3 times, been hit by a couple pitches. I assume you're taking all the way here, Marshall.
Yes.
That pitch is down and in, ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk to get things started for French as Huerta's aboard.
As you mentioned, I think that's really haunted French so far in his starts this year. His outings this year is the walk, and already they should want to start this game.
Something to keep an eye on is that'll bring up Connor Caldwell, another one of the designated hitters. Northstars will bat 11 today. Caldwell hitting .250, one double, a couple RBIs. So that first pitch is up and in from. So French has started 5 straight pitches out of the strike zone. Mentioned a moment ago, a couple of our analytics guys, Eli Schur and Aiden Resnick, essentially the acting co-managers of the Colonials today. So that's on the inside corner, strike 1. So whenever they get a pitcher up, whenever they make a substitution, pinch hitter, pinch runner, special pinch runner, anything like that, it's their call. They made the lineup today. And the dirt ball, too. That gets away from Manuel Lopez, the catcher. Going to second is Huerta on the wild pitch. So 6 out of the first 7 pitches out of the strike zone for French. Opportunity for the Northstars. So for the Colonials, you have Levi Hall, Deshaun Thomas, Cooper Browning, left center and right fielders. Sean Garcia, Tyler Darnell, Carter Fagan, Sean Boscovich. From third base over the first, that's the infield. Manuel Lopez behind the plate, and of course French on the mound. That's a little high, 3-1 the count. French's previous start, he only went an inning and 2/3, 4 walks, a hit batter. He had to be removed in the second. That pitch is called low, so back-to-back walks to get things started. Already seeing Aiden stir a little bit, thinking down at the Colonials dugout. That'll bring up Joey Thomas, the catcher.
And it's going to be a mound conference already.
Thomas hitting 100, couple RBIs. He's walked 3 times. Joe French sitting in the low 80s right now. All 9 pitches have been fastballs.
Not been well located. His control. Very.
Of course, I'd be mistaken if I forgot to say that just about all of our extra bit of information, whether it's velocities or exit on pitches, exit velocities on balls off the bat, and a lot of other stats, it comes from our analytics crew.
A brilliant, hard-working team they sure are. Joey Thomas comes into today, batting just 100.
Here's the 0-1. That's on the ground foul. So French able to work ahead 0-2. Hopefully a good bounce back and a good sign of things to come.
Just throwing some strikes to try and get in the zone a bit. Thomas has a couple of runs batted in on the season.
So the infield's set to try and turn 2. Fagan keeping the rod close at second. The 0-2 is way upstairs, 1-2. Cooper Browning playing relatively shallow in right field. Same with Thomas in center. Hall's the deepest outfielder out in left. Mentioned earlier, both teams struggle offensively, so putting up 2 runs could end up being huge. As that's on the outside corner for a called strike 3. Thomas down looking, and a big first out for French and the Colonials. Boy, did Joel French need that.
Huge strikeout.
So that brings up Mario Catalan, hitting .364 in the cleanup spot. Couple doubles, 4 RBIs. Oh, he's up right here in an RBI spot with men on first and second. First pitch to him is on the inside corner, strike 1. Looks like that inside half to the righties is wide open. We had a big strike zone in the previous game. New umpire crew, of course. French checks the runner once. The 0-1 is outside and low, ball 1. Boy, a double play would be big for the Colonials.
Be huge. Really be important here in game goes on for French really find the strike zone, it's worth noting that the Northstars are tied for first with the Chillin' Coyotes for most strikeouts as an offense.
That's taken low 2-1. Coming into today's game as a team, the Colonials have issued the most walks out of anyone in the league at 76. Bootleggers are the next closest at 73, and in a distant third are the Chill and the Coyotes. Northstars are middle of the pack at 6. Runners are going. Grounded over the short and over the first. Nice play, Tyler Darnell. With the runners in motion, the Northstars stay out of a double play. So going to second is Caldwell. Over the third goes Huerta. So that brings up Cole Killian. Still a good RBI spot. Cole Killian hitting .227. No RBIs this season. Well, a chance right here for 2. So he takes outside ball 1. Already some taxing, high-stress pitches for French. Bit of an overshift going on here. This is interesting.
Very big shift.
Well, you know, our analytics crew with Eli and Aiden doing the managing, they have all sorts of information with flight scope and whatever other technology that they use to get tendencies of hitters. So the shortstop Darnell is a couple steps to the second base side of the second base bag.
That's got to be the first time I've seen that all season.
First time I've seen it. 3-0 the count. Looks like Carter Fagan, he's playing maybe a couple steps over towards the pull side. For a lefty, relatively normal position for a second baseman. And Sean Garcia over at third is playing relatively deep, but somewhat normal positioning. 3-1 the count. So I just got word from our guy Hammer, giving us information that Aiden and Eli have information in everyone's spray chart as far as where they hit the ball. So they planned out shifts for every single hitter. So Killian takes down low ball 4. The bases are loaded. 3 walks issued by French. But still a chance to get out of this unscathed. It brings up Federico Sanchez, another one of the designated hitters. Sanchez hitting .187. Couple RBIs, 2 doubles. Well, a hit here would be huge for the Northstars. Way upstairs, ball 1.
French with that high fastball keeps coming in up there.
You know, it's fun to see. So now, the infield's at more of a straight-up regular depth. A little more room up the middle. But you can see Aiden down there directing traffic on the infield. Goes, hey, you there, move over. And you, go back to your original spot. No, not you, the other you. 2-0 the count, though. That pitch, a little high, ball 3. French wanted it, he didn't get the call. I assume you have to be taking all the way if you're Sanchez.
Definitely. Though, erratic French has been with his location, and sure
That's
enough,
way upstairs, ball 4. 4 walks in the inning, that forces in a run for the Northstars. Crossing the play is Nathaniel Huerta. We're going to have a meeting on the mound, so the official coach of the Colonials will go out there, escorted by Aiden. Wonder who's going to do the majority of the talking. Looks like the head coach is doing the majority of the talking. That's probably what he's a little more used to doing. But the decisions, I'm assuming the decision to do the mound visit came from either Aiden or Eli. Seems like a reasonably good decision to do a mound visit.
Let's see. Definitely want to talk to French there.
Oh, there's Aiden directing more traffic. So let's see. You have the lefty Roman Robles coming up. So now Darnell, the shortstop, he's going to go back over a couple steps to the right of second base. And let's see, Fagan, the second baseman, over a little further towards the pull side. And Garcia, the third baseman, a little further over towards shortstop. He's not exactly playing shortstop as a third baseman, but he's way off the line. As Robles takes down low, ball 1.
Robles has got 318 on the year, 4 runs batted in. French, even with such a wide strike zone, is not really able to throw strikes.
Fastball right there is fouled back. It's been all fastballs so far from French. Let's see, the outfielders are all playing pretty straight up. Relatively shallow, that is. And that hits him. So 4 walks and a hit batter. Caldwell across the plate. It's 2-0 Northstars, and they haven't needed a hit. And look, obviously, Marshall, you have a very condensed schedule. You're playing almost every day with an off day sprinkled in there every once in a while. You wonder if and when you get somebody up in the bullpen for the Colonials.
I'm thinking you probably want to. We could be getting to that soon.
Looks like I see some stirring going on. I see a bullpen catcher going on down there. Taking a ball down low is Bryce Sidler.
French, unable to throw strikes so far.
Sidler hitting .292, a double, a home run, 8 RBIs. As that's low, ball 2. I mean, I assume you have to have a take sign on here if you're the Northstars.
Absolutely. One thing doesn't really matter as much here if the base is loaded, but the Northstars, also one of the top running games in PSCL, ranked 3rd in stolen bases.
That's high 3-0.
No need to steal when you're gifted this many walks and hit batters, but definitely something they can employ against French.
So Aaron Elisaire, he's out in the bullpen. No, excuse me, that's not Aaron Elisaire. Alex Morales is going to get up in a hurry out in the bullpen. Morales has not pitched so far this season as French delivers a strike in there. Taking all the way is Bryce Sidler. Do you think you take a second strike here if you're Sidler?
I think you should.
So 3-1, and that's called inside ball 4. French wanted that pitch. So a third run will cross the plate to score. It's 3-0 in the bottom of the first. So 5 walks and a hit batter in the inning.
It resembles the first inning of the first game where the Blue Sox were able to get 2 runs in the first inning without a hit. 3 runs for the Northstars, still no hits.
So this could already be really tough for the Colonials offense that's towards the bottom of the league as far as production's concerned. So that brings up Santiago Castro. He's the 9th man to bat in the inning. Northstars batting 11. Still interesting positioning. Darnell is still a few steps to the right side of second base as the shortstop with the lefty up. This time Boscovich is almost hugging the first base line. 0-2 the count, though, to Castro. That's upstairs 1-2.
Big shift on in the infield.
Northstars second to last in the entire league as far as drawing walks at the plate. At least right now, that ranking is sure to go up. Upstairs 2-2. Colonials actually 6th in the league, right in the middle of the pack. They're tied with the Grizzly at 56. Haymakers and Lumberjacks 1-2 respectively, 72 and 70. Lumberjacks being the #1 total offense in the entire league. 2-2 the count, though, to Castro. French was a pitch in there, but it's hit foul. And a base hit here, for all we know, could make it a world of trouble for the Colonials to try and get back in it.
I think you mentioned this.
Especially with 2 outs, the runners will be off and running on contact.
Outfield playing shallow. Infield shifted over.
That's high 3-2. So French worked ahead 0-2, and now Cash has worked it back to a full count. The runners will be off here.
French admittedly hasn't gotten the call, and at least when he is over some close pitches.
I mean, it's a tough thing to be a fielder in innings like this. So the pitch, the runners go, and that's low and outside, ball 4. A fourth run will cross the plate. Santiago Castro will take his base. So now 6 walks in the inning and a hit batter. It brings up the 10th man, Gabriel Crystal.
Gabriel Crystal, the freshman of the University of Sioux Falls, a huge RBI threat. Now the shift is broken off.
First pitch in there for a strike. Morales continues to throw in the bullpen. Wonder if one more walk will be it for French. It looks like Morales is done throwing. That's just upstairs, ball 1. French is asking, is that pitch high? And the umpire goes, yes, it is. Hey, look, obviously he's trying to throw strikes. Like, no pitcher wants to walk people. I've been in a few innings like this myself, and it's a tough feeling either way.
It's gotta be.
Because in a situation like this, you're pretty much just aiming right down the middle and just hoping it goes across the plate. The 2-1. Swing and a miss, 2-2. French walked the first 2 men. Then he got Thomas on strikes. And he got Catalan to ground out to shortstop. He had a chance to get out of this, not allowing anything. But then 2 walks, hit batter, and 2 more walks led to the 4 runs. And if Crystal goes down swinging, goes after a high fastball, and that finally retires the side. 6 walks and a hit batter. No hits. End up leading to 4 run for the Northstars. So the Colonials will try and get back to work and work on this deficit. To the top of the second we go. The Northstars now sitting on a 4-0 lead without the need of a hit. Just 6 walks and a... Yep, 6 walks and a hit batter have given them a 4-0 lead. Austin Sheldon go back to work for his second inning. Joel French threw 45 pitches in the first. So we wonder if we'll see him come back out for the second inning. A long time to wait for Austin Sheldon as he delivers a first pitch and Garcia fouls it back. Sean Garcia, Deshaun Thomas, Carter Fagan, 3, 4, 5 in the order. Sheldon set down the Colonials in order in the first. And Mars, what's the mindset if you're the Colonials trying to get back into this game?
If I'm the Colonials, right there. If I'm the Colonials, I just want to try and get on base. Just kind of chip away bit by bit. Don't press too hard.
All these games are 7 innings here in the PSCL, also a 2-hour time limit, whichever comes first. As Garcia pops out, there'll be Deshaun Thomas now batting.
Indeed, that inning may, like you said, in terms of time, that might be the most costly aspect of that inning.
Thomas takes a fastball in the outside corner for a strike. So it's Roman Robles, Gabriel Crystal, Mario Catalan, the outfielders for the Northstars, Santiago Castro, Cole Killian, Wyatt Curdy, Bryce Sidler along the infield, Joey Thomas behind the plate, and of course Sheldon on the mound. Thomas hitting .300 on the season, a couple RBIs. Facing an 0-2 count though. Check swing, and that ball's out in front of the plate. Thomas goes to get it, and good play over the first. Quick feet from Deshaun Thomas, and he gets his man. 2-3 on the putout. So excellent start here, frankly, Mark. So if you're Austin Sheldon, you get stake to a 4-run lead, and you get the first 2 men out quickly.
That's huge.
That brings up... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, it could be very dispiriting for the Colonials. So again, like you said, they've lost a lot of time.
Carter Fagan takes a fastball low. He's hitting .261, 1 double, a couple RBIs. That 1-0 is in there, strike 1. That's hit foul. Look out by the Northstars dugouts. They have to get out of the way of that one. So it was Alex Morales warming up in the bullpen in the previous inning. Now it's Stefan Leo. I find that interesting. I have 2 different pitchers warming up. A breaking ball, good pitch, swung on and missed. And for the second straight inning, Austin Sheldon sets down the side in order. 6 up, 6 down for Austin Sheldon and the Northstars. They'll go back to work at the plate, up 4-0. We're set for the bottom of the second inning. Northstars will go back to work at the plate. And the Colonials did send French back out to start this second inning. And right now behind them you have Stefan Leo. Looks like he just stopped throwing. He's doing some other exercise in the bullpen. Alex Morales now back up and throwing. He was getting up in the bullpen just an inning ago. So you have to assume relatively short leash for French. He delivers strike 1 to Wyatt Curdy.
Definitely. I'd say if he walks even just 1 batter, I think he'll be out of there.
So Wyatt Curry, the 11th man in the line for the Northstars. They sent 10 men to the plate in the first as they played 4 runs. French ended the count 0-2. Curry hitting .316, 1 double, 1 RBI. Oh, walks too. He's walked 7 times this season. On base percentage at 500, OPS a little under 900. Here's the 0-2 from French. That's fouled back, one with a high fastball. French sits in about the mid-80s as far as his fastball is concerned. Curveball in the low to mid-70s. He features a changeup in the higher 70s.
Looking a little more confident so far in this at-bat. Attacking his own more. He's missing so much in the first
The 0-2, that's way upstairs, ball 1.
Again, as we mentioned before, today's strike zone has been, I'd say, by far the most generous we've seen, at least that I've seen in PSCL action so far.
I mean, as a pitcher, you don't necessarily want to throw the ball right down the middle either. But obviously, with the situation. So 2-2 the count, and that pitch down low. So right now it's Leo's the man throwing in the bullpen. So that pitch is in the air, left side of the infield. Garcia in foul territory makes the call and he puts it away. Frank, that's a big first out. So 1 out here in the second inning. In the first, French walked the first 2 hitters, then got the next 2 men out. Then it was 6 straight men who reached base to lead to the 4 runs. So now we're back to the top of the order. Nathaniel Huerta, who walked and scored his first time up. Part of 6 walks and a hit batter in that first inning. So a ball, no strikes. As far as the shifting is concerned, we saw all sorts of shifts, especially with the lefties in the Northstars lineup. A lot of left-handed batters. Right now, with the righties up, it's been pretty straight up as far as the infielders are concerned.
Nothing too notable, although center and right are playing fairly shallow. Left fielder, about normal.
So Darnell, the shortstop, maybe a couple steps over towards the pull side, leaving a lot of room towards the middle. That's way high, 2-1.
A lot of high fastballs today from French.
Honestly, last thing was the first time we've seen any significant shift on any hitter.
Really? It's really a first shift to
Like,
shot that took the shortstop.
Frankly, I want to see balls get put into play and see how it works out. Out in front, 2-2. And we saw a few times in the first inning, French is able to get to 2 strikes, but ended up losing some of these hitters. So a chance here, 2-2 the count. That one's fouled back. Also, gotta give credit to the Northstars hitters. They haven't been overly aggressive. They've hit some tough pitches foul with 2 strikes.
Oh, they definitely have. That's terrific at bats, and again, Northstars don't even have a hit yet, but still have a gaping lead.
Long looking from French, he'll deal the 2-2. Check swing, he did not go. According to the first base umpire, it's 3-2.
I got a feeling, if I'm the hitter, I'm going to be looking for another high fastball.
Right now I see Aiden kind of sitting on the edge of his chair. Well, here's the 3-2. That's inside ball 4. Well, let's see the dugout. 7th walk of the game, and looks like that might... Nope, never mind. Saw Aiden get up. Instead, he's just directing traffic. Yep, he's pointing again. You move, and you move. So let's see. The guy's moving. The second baseman, Carter Fagan, now he's playing very close to the second base bag, still on the second base side. And there goes Huerta. And a throw down nowhere near in time. He stole second base easily. Good jump. That's Huerta's 5th stolen base of the season. He swiped that one easily. I mean, not a bad idea to go there, Marshall, especially French focusing heavily and just trying to get the ball over the plate, not paying as much attention to a good base runner.
Deep.
So a ball on the strike the count, it's Caldwell. due up. He also walked in the first. So man over at second now. As French steps off. I'll have a quick meeting on the mound. So Fagan, the second baseman, playing very close to the bag. Not quite on the shortstop side. Darnell is playing relatively straight up depth, maybe just 1 or 2 steps towards third base. And nothing notable from any of the corner infielders as far as their positioning. Hall in left field, still playing very deep. So here's the 1-1. A lot of room on the right side of the infield. That ball is squib up the end of the bat towards the right side. Bosco's up with it, and he flips to French covering. That drop occurred on the transfer, so the second out is officially recorded. Some PFP right there. Whether he tried to or not, Caldwell did go to the right side. That ball is spinning all sorts of ways.
Huge second out.
So Huerta goes to third, and that brings up Thomas. He struck out in the first. So about right here, second time with men in scoring position. Also, if you're Huerta, you gotta get a good walking lead, I assume. Beware of a wild pitch. Good sign from French. He gets ahead with that foul ball. As Leo continues throwing in the bullpen. He's been throwing a while this inning.
He has.
He got up during the top half of the second. At a 1, little high, 1-1. It's a few times French has gone up in the zone. He hasn't gotten the call.
Some have been close, but a lot of them have just been way too high.
So now the infield playing a pretty prototypical straight-up depth. No major shift. Out in front of that fastball, 1-2 the count.
Center and right coming in pretty shallow.
So Frank's looking to work his way out of the jam here in the second. Still hasn't allowed a hit yet. Here's the 1-2. High 2-2. And at this point, with all the deep counts, if you're Aiden and Eli down there, you gotta also be thinking about the pitch count. As far as if and when to remove French from the game. The 2-2. High again, 3-2. So that was the 67th pitch of the day right there. Definitely a high pitch count to be in the second inning.
Starting to wonder if, regardless of how this inning ends, this could be it for him. Let's see if we can go back.
Well, here's the 3-2. And that's up and away, ball 4. Through these pitches, they haven't missed by much.
His control has been better this inning, that's for sure. Some close calls.
So it's the 8th walk he's issued today, second one of the inning, puts men on first and third with 2 outs. So that'll bring up Mario Catalan, who grounded out to short in the first. No damage done yet here in the second. The Northstars take to a 4-0 lead. There goes the run from first. That ball served at the center field. And a nice running grab to Sean Thomas. Boy, did he cover some ground to get it. He saved a run. Wow, nice play right there. Retires the side. No runs, no hits, a couple walks, 2 men left for the Northstars. So we go to the top of the third inning. Still 4-0 Northstars. We're set for the top of the third, ladies and gentlemen. Alex Morales, Sean Boscovich, Manuel Lopez, and Cooper Browning, the scheduled hitters for the Colonials. French able to work out of a jam with 2 men on in the second. Colonials still trail 4-0. Austin Sheldon back out for his third inning of work. And frankly, he's been terrific. He's allowed nothing. No hits, no walks, no errors, no nothing. A couple strikeouts to his credit.
Incredibly efficient so far.
And first pitch swinging is Morales. He fouls it back.
Alex Morales, Bucks County Community College freshman, wheeled to 211 average coming into today.
Beg pardon, ladies and gentlemen. That's actually Sean Boscovich at the plate.
Oh,
You were saying, Marshall?
Sean Boscovich, sophomore of Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, 179 average. He got 5 runs batted in this season.
Breaking ball in there, strike 2.
The Colonials, this is such a tough spot, down by a sizable margin, and really, because of how laborious French's innings were, really don't have too much time. You got to get something going.
Here's the 1-2. That's down low, 2-2. Hey, we're still at a pretty reasonable spot as far as time of the game is concerned. Maybe approaching the 50-minute mark, more or less. Granted, our timing is not exactly official as far as what the umpires and the coaches have. That's it, foul. And that's frankly, that's because Sheldon's just hasn't allowed anything to this Colonials lineup.
He has not.
I mean, what's the approach here, in your opinion, Marshall, for a pitcher? You're staked to an early 4-0 lead.
And the approach here. I think the approach here, just, maintaining good rhythm.
So
pitches.
3-2 to count to Boscovich. That's up high. He's aboard with a leadoff walk, first base run of the day for the Colonials. And so now we have, a slight correction. Now Alex Morales is due up. So we'll go ahead and just flip-flop the 2 in our books. This could be interesting, trying to remember who did what when they come up again, Marshall.
It will be.
Morales' first pitch swinging, he comes up empty, strike 1. So Morales warming up in the bullpen for a little bit. He's hitting .211 this season. No extra base hits and an RBI to his credit. Short lead at first from Boscovich. Another swing and a miss, 0-2. Boscovich has not attempted a stolen base, so I doubt he's going anywhere right now. Still a short lead over there. Northstars look to turn 2 as that's foul. That's it, foul down the right field line. Good fastball at time, got it in the hands of Morales. Waiting on deck is Manuel Lopez. Colonials batting 10 men today, Northstars batting 11. Most teams tend to bat 10, but it's been a common practice for the Northstars to send 11 men to the plate each day. So here's the 0-2 once again. Breaking ball on the inside corner for a called strike 3. Third strikeout of the game so far for Sheldon. There's 1 out.
Wondering how Sheldon would respond finally having a runner on, but he's just maintaining his consistency. Worth noting the Colonials ranking in the middle of the pack in terms of stolen bases. 24 for 30 coming into today.
So that brings up Manuel Lopez, the 9th man in the order. He's hitting .240. 6 hits, a couple RBIs. Northstars once again will look to turn 2. Nobody up in the Colonials bullpen, so there's a good chance they'll send French back out for the third. That ball's hit hard. Right side through for a base hit. Past the diving Sidler. Stopping at second is Boscovich. No, wait. That's Morales on second base. Alright, let me adjust my book real quick.
And the first hit of the day for the Colonials, and all of a sudden, they've got a one-out rally.
Marshall, I recommend just crossing out the names in the book and just shifting them their correct spot of batting, or it's going to be terribly confusing the rest of the day.
I will do just that.
So Morales on second base, Lopez on first. First hit of the day for either team. And puts men on first and second with one out. Well, this is good. It's interesting. Seeing now the two analytics guys they're back up on their feet. Their tall innings over. They're able to strategize. As Browning is now the batter, he takes a breaking ball for strike one. Browning's hitting a .185, 1 RBI to his credit, no extra base hits yet.
And Mitchell Clay running at first.
Breaking ball? Ooh, called high, 1-1. I've seen that similar looking pitch called a strike a few times. Well, a chance here for the Colonials to try and answer back. They're down 4-0. Men on first and second, one out. One of the bottom two offenses as far as production goes in the league. They gotta try and take anything they can get. Especially how good Sheldon's been to start. Long look in the 1-1. That's it, foul right side. Pretty good swing there from Browning. Another long look in. Once again, Morales not much of a base stealer, so I doubt we'll see any of them running here. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed. Good breaking ball there from Sheldon. Second strikeout of the inning. There's 2 outs. Trying to work out the first and second jam.
He's unfazed. Pitching well with runners on.
So that'll bring up Tyler Darnell. He ground out to short his first time up. So back to the top of the order we go. Outfield still playing pretty straight up for the Northstars. Wyatt Curdy keeping the runner close at second. So big hole in the right side. Another long look in from Sheldon. Here's the first pitch. He really has slowed down considerably with his pace once he got runners on base.
He has a long. Still pitching well. Maybe a little mound confidence there.
It's pretty short. I wonder if Thomas got crossed up on that last pitch.
He kind of looked like it more now that you mention it.
I mean, he was able to catch the ball cleanly. A lot of times, though, that's the case when you have meetings that short on the mound when he immediately goes out after he catches the ball. We saw once in a power game. Forget who it was, but the power pitch is throwing 89 miles per hour. The catcher expected the curveball as a daylight play on, safe at second. Expecting a curveball, he was sliding over as if to block it. Then he got a fastball. He caught it right on the heel of his glove. Maybe got his chest protector. Oof. Miraculous to see no injury on the play. That's scary, though. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball, low, ball 1. My goodness, basically the absolutely huge Marshall for the Colonials. Try and get some momentum back on their side.
Indeed. It's surreal to think that they only have one hit, and there's only been one hit by either team so far. The key here will be, let's see what how the runners go.
1-1, towards on the right side, he's going to get through for a base hit. Let's see what they do. Morales will stop at third. Wise decision. Catalano is playing shallow and right, but the bases are loaded with 2 outs for the Colonials. Darnell able to take advantage of that big hole on the right side.
Huge hit. And now the pressure is really on. The tying run at the plate now.
That brings up Levi Hall. He struck out in the first. And he steps off. Sheldon will go out of the windup now. Well, chance now for the Colonials to try and cut this lead in half. In the dirt, ball one.
Seeing a little bit of a shift on in the infield. Outfielders playing fairly shallow as well.
So Sheldon sailed along quickly through the first 2 innings. So that's hit foul out of play. He got Morales swinging on strikes. No, he got Boscovich swinging on strikes. See, I knew it was going to get me. I even crossed their names out, Marshall. Morales walked. Lopez singled. Strikeout to Browning. Darnell singled, and it's 2-1 to Hall. And Mitchell Clay over at second base, running for the catcher. Inside 3-1. Marshall, what are you looking for here?
I'm going to look for a fastball right down the middle.
So you're saying you're green lighting him?
I'm green lighting him for sure.
Sheldon's only walked 1 man so far. It came earlier in this inning to Morales. Here's a 3-1. That's on the outside corner for strike 2. So the runners will be off here with the count full and the bases loaded. Big at bat right here.
Even though it's just the top of the third, this feels like, and it certainly has to be, a pivotal moment in this game.
Sheldon set, still going out of the windup. The runners go to 3-2. Inside, ball 4. Second walk of the inning issued by Sheldon, and Hall walks in a run. Crossing the plate is Mitchell Clay, and the Colonials are on the board. It's 4-1.
Now the Colonials doing to Sheldon what the Northstars did to French in the first inning. Just chipping away, long at-bats, drawing key walks.
Nobody up in either team's bullpen, so granted there's 2 outs. The Northstars, they want Sheldon to work out of this rain. They probably need some innings out of him. So now it'll be Jed Downham. Popped out in the first. His first pitch swinging towards the hole. And that's under the legs of Wyatt Curry, who's over. 1 run scores. And safe at the plate. Oh, that all happened quickly. So out at third is Levi Hall. 2 runs scored nonetheless on the RBI. Well, actually, on the error. Jed Downham reached on an error. The error goes to Wyatt Curry. But either way, the Colonials will gladly take it. We go to the bottom of the third, and it's a 1-run game. So we're set for the bottom of the third inning, ladies and gentlemen. The Colonials have cut it to a one-run game after putting up 3 runs in the third. So Marshall, we just worked it out with Hammer, our resident analytics guy up here, as far as the scoring on that last play. So, a hit has been awarded to Jed Downham because Nolan was going over to cover first base, so he would have been safe anyway. And so he gets 1 RBI with, that would have been Lopez. No, well, Mitchell Clay crossing the plate because he came on the pinch run for Lopez. Then Tyler Darnell crossed the plate. That's where the error would have occurred on the second baseman Wyatt Curdy, allowing the ball to go through. Levi Hall was out at trying to go to third, and that putout goes 9-5.
What a crazy sequence to end that inning. We've got ourselves quite a ball game here already.
So I think we have it all squared away, Marshall.
I think we do.
All right, so now a ball, 2 strikes to Mario Catalan, who grounded up to short his first time up. Catalan, Killian, Federico Sanchez, the scheduled hitters. French back out there for the third. At the moment, that's tied 2-2. You know, I'd absolutely love to do some kind of interview on air with our resident analytics guys, Eli and Aiden. And that ball's grounded into the shift. So I think that's the second baseman, Fagan, putting that one away. Tyler Darnell is pretty much almost playing second base himself. And it was Fagan who put that one away. See, Marshall, so much happened there, we barely even noticed the overshift until the ball was hit. So 4-3 on the putout. And now Darnell, the righty coming up, will go back over to the left side of the infield, and he'll play him slightly to pull, but mostly normal shortstop depth. Fagan playing a little bit closer to the bag, but nothing crazy overshift-wise. And Frank Hennick once again 0-1. So yeah. So just got a text from Hammer. He's so happy to see the shift in action. He's claiming it worked. The only reason I'd say I'd hold my horses there is because that ball looked to be hit towards the regular second base spot anyway.
I would think the same.
Still cool to see nonetheless. I definitely want to see a ball at some point, though, either hit a vacant hole where a fielder would normally be, or a ball hit towards a player who shifted in a spot not where he wouldn't typically play. 1-1, that's outside 2-1. And also, Tyler Wilson now is getting loosened up in the Colonials bullpen, so French the starter, is still in the game. And the Colonials have had 3 different pitchers up in the bullpen. That's grounded over the third. Sliding stop Garcia. Throw across the diamond. In time. Nice play right there, Garcia. Corralling that ball towards the line for the second out.
Beautiful play. French with his most efficient inning so far. The way he struggled on the first, I had doubts he'd even make it through the second. Starting to get in a groove here. The Colonials are steadily making a game out of this.
It's got to be big right now. French trying to record a shutdown inning after cutting it to a one-run game.
And now we see the overshift again.
All right, so now with the lefty Sanchez up, Federico Sanchez, who walked in the first. So let's see. The second baseman Fagan is playing a few steps into the outfield grass. It's not something we've seen much of. And Darnell, the shortstop, is over maybe 10, 12, 15 feet to the right of the second base bag. So the shortstop hole is wide open, and Garcia is playing way off the bag at third and playing relatively deep. So that 2-0 is looped into shallow right field. Browning coming on. He makes the call and the catch to retire the side. Great bounce back game for Joel French and the Colonials. 1-2-3 go the Northstars. We go to the top of the fourth. Northstars lead 4-3. We're set for the top of the fourth, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Evan Schmeiser, joined by Marshall Garvey, Sean Garcia, Deshaun Thomas, Carter Fagan, the three scheduled hitters. Austin Sheldon, still on the mound for the Northstars, except for his fourth inning of work. Colonials have stolen the momentum back, Marshall, after giving up 4 runs in the first inning on all sorts of walks. French has been able to settle down nicely. He's pitched a scoreless second and third innings, and the Colonials put up 3 runs of their own in the third.
Indeed. Man, this game looked like it was going to be fairly lopsided early on, but now things have drawn a lot closer, and we get the battle of the minds between our analytics managers that we've been hoping for.
That ball's fisted out to shortstop, and making a catch on the soft line drive is Cole Killian. So quick first down, they'll bring up Thomas. Sean Thomas, ground out softly in front of the plate to the catcher Thomas. Oh, that's confusing. Joey Thomas made the play over the first. Deshaun Thomas is the batter. Thomas retired Thomas. And Deshaun Thomas takes outside ball 1. In the dirt, 2-0 the count.
Sheldon working very fast this inning.
Hey, he was a little frustrated with that pitch right there. He's going to take a quick walk off the mound. He walked a couple batters in the third inning, trying to avoid anything like that here in the fourth. Good bounce back pitch right there. He gets to swing 2-1. Still nobody up in the Northstars bullpen, so they're riding it out with Sheldon. And at the moment, no one up in the Colonials bullpen, so probably see French come back out. Joel French has thrown 80 pitches so far today.
Has bounced back nicely after that laborious first inning.
Here's the 2-2. Breaking ball on the outside corner for a called strike 3. Good breaking ball right there is a quick 2 outs. Fifth strikeout of the day for Sheldon. So that brings up Fagan. Fagan struck out his only at bat in the second. Up high ball, and the way this game's somewhat accelerated, Marshall, we might go the full 7.
We might.
It's possible. We'll see what happens, though, when each of these teams go to their bullpens. It almost looks like they're a little thin. That ball's blooped out to right field, but Kylo will make the play. Hadn't played perfectly. So after French set down the side in order in the third, Sheldon does the same thing. Colonials go down 1-2-3. So we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. Looks like we're settling in for a bit of a pitcher's duel.
We are.
Well, we're set to go for the bottom of the fourth, ladies and gentlemen. And Marshall, we somewhat expected coming into today. We had our doubts going through the first inning, but it has turned into a pitcher's duel.
It has. It's eventually settled that way. And we got Bryce Sidler batting for the Northstars. He comes in today batting .292 with 8 runs batted in as a solo home run to boot.
So Sidler walked his first time up. French back out on the mound for his 4th inning of work. Nobody up in the Colonials bullpen, nobody up in the Northstars bullpen, so we should see Austin Sheldon come out for the 5th.
Wondering if, against all odds, both these pitchers could probably go the distance. Probably not too likely with French. This pitch count is very high.
Yeah, 80 pitches coming into this thing, so now up to 82. That ball's ripped through the middle, and it's going to get down for a base hit. So Sidler aboard for the Northstars. That's their first hit of the day.
Beautiful struck.
And just 4 hits combined from both teams. All 3 of the Colonial hits coming in their 3-run 3rd inning. We mentioned both teams somewhat offensively challenged compared to the rest of the league. So that'll bring in Santiago Castro, who walked his first time up. Oh, we have an overshift back on. They love shifting the lefties to Eli and Aiden. I wonder how they'll go about trying to turn a double play. So let's see. Darnell's talking about it now. Because last thing you want if you're Darnell to go too far over to your right and have no chance at a double play. You know, this is the kind of stuff in college and the big leagues, you're practicing this in spring training. These guys haven't practiced this.
As to the gravity of the moment, though, it's a whole new experiment for them.
Darnell's like, what am I doing over here? Here's the 1-1. And check on the runner. Not too big of a lead. French has slowed down his pace a little bit now that he has a base runner aboard. Still a short lead, the 1-1. Hit foul, 1-2. Marshall, I really want to see a ground ball to the right side.
I do too. I want to see how that double play would pan out like.
So let's see, in case anyone's having a hard time seeing, Fagan's playing 1 or 2 feet into the outfield grass, somewhat of a normal second base spot, maybe slightly over towards the pole side. Then you have Darnell back on the second base side of the bag, over about 10 feet or so. 2-2 the count. The 2-2, whoa, that's over the head of Castro. He got out of the way of it, so the count runs full. And French has had really good control so far in this inning. That one just got away.
Yeah, his control really has settled down.
Here's the 3-2. Hit fouled back.
That was a good pitch as well. Just barely fouled off. Yeah, French is missing so high early on. A lot of high fastballs. Really been able to curtail that.
So we actually have a pinch runner for Bryce Sidler. Adam Green is now the runner over at first. He did not take off in the previous 3-2 pitch. Only 1 stolen base, and that's up high, ball 4. So the first walk that French has issued since the second. And now we're going to have a meeting on the mound with men on first and second, nobody else. So now, Aiden and Eli are both going to accompany the official head coach. And I have to assume that one, if not both of them, called for this meeting. They love the idea of mound meetings. Aiden wishes he had unlimited meetings. If he could, he'd go out and talk to the pitcher after each batter. Oh, I just saw him do some more pointing. He's directing traffic, even as he's walking off the field.
So let's see what defensive configuration we'll have here.
I think it's impressive, frankly, that they have all this. I mean, I assume they have it written down or on screen somewhere down by their dugout, but he has it learned and memorized well enough where you just go out to the mound and remember where to shift this next hitter. Frankly, I'd be interested to see if the Northstars bring in a pinch hitter. Whether we see them having to flip through notes or... I mean, they're pretty well organized. So that's something I'd probably do, flip through the notes like, oh no, a pinch hitter's coming up. Well, how do I shift him? So that brings up Gabriel Crystal. He struck out his first at-bat. Men on first and second. Crystal does not show a bunt, he takes high. Still nobody up in the Colonials bullpen. Foul tipped into the glove of Lopez, 1-1. He gets a swing right there. That's interesting. I wonder what the leash is on French. He came in this inning throwing 80 pitches. He's getting up there now. He's had 1 or 2 deep counts already this inning. No one up in the bullpen, so I wonder, do they have someone who's still ready?
Or if he just trusts him to get through this inning.
Or if they're willing to let him go over 100 pitches today. Tyler Wilson warmed up in the bullpen last inning. I guess theoretically he's good to go if needed. That's just outside 2-2. French and the Colonials wanted it. So a jam here for the Colonials. The Northstars lead 4-3. Here in the bottom of the fourth. That's on the inside corner for a called strike 3. And throw down to second is not in time. Big first out, though. Crystal goes down looking. Third strikeout of the day for French. Don't worry if you just heard that loud noise. It's just the breeze slamming a door closed right next to us. It startled me, too, in case it scared anyone at home. Did that get you, Marshall?
Yeah, I got me a little too.
I know it startled Hammer a little bit, who's sitting next to me. It's okay, Hammer. Oh, apparently Hammer saw the door coming. I'm just standing in more now. He doesn't want to make too much noise. He says yes, exactly.
So now I'm wondering, saw the Northstars really get the running game going earlier. See if they might go for a double steal here.
Well, neither team runs all that much. That ball's towards the right side. Backhanded by Boscovich. He goes to second. Good play right there. Darnell heads up job going over the cover. I thought I was going through. Boscovich gloved it on one hop on the backhand, and he gets a second out of the inning.
Yeah, I thought that was a hit too. Even when he caught it, thought he might get tied up a bit, but knew to get the lead runner. So now 2 outs.
So 3-6 on the putout. Curdy reaches on the fielder's choice. Sidler over the third. So that brings up the leadoff man, Nathaniel Huerta. He's walked twice today. Now a chance for a big RBI hit. Only 1 hit so far for the Northstars. First pitch swinging. That ball skied in the air. Shallow left center field. Coming on is Thomas. And he makes the catch to retire the side. Joel French, he's bounced back really nicely. He's worked 4 good innings, allowing just 1 hit. He gets out another jam right there. We go to the top of the 5th. Colonials trying to work on that 1-run deficit. To the top of the 5th inning we go. Colonials still trail by 1. We have a new pitcher for the Northstars, Adam Green, on in relief for Austin Sheldon. This is the first time all season that Adam Green is pitching. He is not listed as a pitcher. So this could be interesting, Marshall.
Very interesting.
Boscovich, Morales, and Lopez, the first 3 hitters he's scheduled to face. There was a first pitch a little outside, ball 1. Boscovich struck out looking in the 3rd. No, excuse me, wait. Yeah, Boscovich struck out looking in the 3rd.
That was an interesting
Did that
call.
right.
Now I have to be impartial here, but that looked probably a little more outside than the prior pitch, but a strike nonetheless. Again, this strike zone's been very wide today.
You know, and it's interesting managing we already got to see last inning from the Colonials. Especially from our 2 analytics guys. Now, granted, for all we know, could have been overruled by the real manager. Let's see. They left French in to face the 10-man Crystal, who's one of the North Stars' best hitters. And they left him in for the top of the order, especially coming around 3rd time through the order. They talk all about the danger of leaving a pitcher in 3rd time through the order. But they left French in the game. They had Wilson ready. And it paid off.
Yeah, it did.
Joel French is now officially done after 99 pitches. Just got word of that.
But what a gutsy effort by French after such a rough first inning. I honestly thought he would even be pulled before the first inning was over. He managed to grind his way through 4.
So now a full count. That pitch is outside. We've seen that pitch go both ways at times today. That time called a ball. The North Stars can't believe it. And so Boscovich is aboard to lead off the inning.
Green throwing around 80, topping out around there again. This is his first pitching appearance of the year. What you just saw, I think that's what the Colonials got to do. Just be patient with each at-bat. This is his first appearance of the year.
That ball's delivered outside to Alex Morales, who walked and scored in the 3rd. Part of that 3-run 3rd inning rally for the Colonials. It's an opportunity for them here. They trail by 1. Reasonable to assume that the North Stars have a very thin bullpen today, throwing a position player right now. So that's high, ball 2. I mean, that can happen. Condensed schedules, not the biggest rosters in the world. Obviously not going to overwork pitchers, especially in a summer league game. And what are you looking for now if you're Morales, ahead 2-0?
I think I'm going to look for fastball down and away.
Outside 3-0. You putting a take sign on here, Marshall?
I think you take, because again, this is a pitcher in his first appearance of the year. He just walked the first batter. You got a lot of breathing room to just get a feel for it.
Green is set, the 3-0. That's right down the shoe, strike 1. Do you take again right here, 3-1?
I think so.
Abraham Hernandez warming up in the bullpen for the North Stars. At 3-1, that's way outside, ball 4. So Green's walked the first 2 men this inning. Big opportunity for the Colonials. For what it's worth, Abraham Hernandez, he's listed as a catcher and a first baseman. So, I wonder if he'll be position players the rest of the way for the North Stars. We have a quick meeting on the mound right now. The time limit could start to become a factor. Roughly 30 minutes left in the 2-hour time limit. So at least for the North Stars, might be trying to buy a little bit of time even on that end.
And we'll have a courtesy runner at first.
And that's Mitchell Clay coming back out. We saw him pinch run as a courtesy runner earlier in this ballgame already. So Clay's over at first in place for Morales. 2 walks to start the inning. That brings up Manuel Lopez. Lopez singled and scored in the 3rd. So the Northstars, tough situation for them. They'll set up to try and turn 2. Marshall, do you think a bunt will be on here?
Dare I say it? I think there will be.
I see the manager giving signs that at least they're having some conversation. I assume the decision is up to Eli and Aiden, though. Aiden hates bunting. But Lopez does not square, he takes high ball 1.
Again.
Eli, I think he's a little more middle of the road as far as old school baseball and analytics are concerned. Marshall, you're very old school. I'm not as old school as you, but relatively old school. And that's off the glove of Thomas. Both runners will advance. Well, who needs a bunt when you get a pass ball?
A little hesitation by Clay there, but yeah, I don't know, needs a bunt. Again, just especially against a new pitcher in his debut, just be patient.
And our resident analytics man, Hammer, who's up next to us, I'd say he's not as new school analytical as Aiden, but more analytical than Eli, and definitely way more so than I am. And Marshall, you'd be on a different planet than Hammer and Aiden as far as analytics go, and old school.
Yes.
Let's see. You like taking 3-0. You like bunting. You love stealing bases. You like hitting the ball the other way. And you like usually leaving starters in?
I do. I like.
Well, there's that too.
I like a strong start, you know.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll have a new pitcher when we return. Green is done after walking 2 men to start the inning. Actually, we're back. Beg pardon. Green is still out there on the mound. You have some kind of conversation going on between the umpires. Frankly, I just assumed seeing the warm-up tosses that it was a new pitcher.
I thought so too.
What in the world's going on? Well, Green's getting some water. Maybe that's part of it. I mean, we are in the desert. It's very important to stay hydrated.
And it's 104 today.
Like, even on cooler days with the dry air, you can get thirsty relatively kind of out of nowhere. A little different than, say, like I grew up on the East Coast, lived in Texas for a bit. You do all sorts of sweating when you're out there.
Being from the Central Valley in California, I definitely know dry heat and how briefly.
So we're set to go now. I'm not sure what all that was about, but we're set to go again. Lopez still the batter, facing a 2-0 count. Adam Green still the pitcher. He's walked 2 men as that's hit foul. And Boscovich and the pinch runner Mitchell Clay able to advance on a pass ball. So runners on second and third, nobody out. And the Northstars are bringing the infield all the way in as they lead by 1 run, taking a chance nonetheless, especially with a go-ahead run at second. So that's hit foul right side. So Green's able to even the count at 2-2. Browning waits on deck, the 10th man in the order. So that's it, foul, 2-2. According to Hammer, there's absolutely no chance that Eli or Aiden would have put a bunt on in the first and second no-out situation. Oh, it worked out for them. They basically got a bunt.
They basically did.
Here's the 2-2. That's upstairs, 3-2. We heard the grunt from Green out on the mound. Outfield playing very shallow for the Northstars.
No, in this instance, I say definitely don't take. I think I've got a good pitch to hit here. Never mind.
And that's taken inside ball 4. So 3 straight walks and the bases are now loaded. And they're going to send Stefan Leo out to pinch run for Lopez, the catcher. So that brings up Browning. Struck out his only at bat in the third. The infield is all the way in for the Northstars, trying to get a force out at home. And up high 1-0. Marshall, you putting a take sign on here? It's 1-0. You have a position player on the mound. He's doing his best, not used to pitching by any means.
I probably don't take here.
Interesting. That ball's lined into center field. Crystal slides. He can't make the catch, and it gets by him. 2 runs are going to score for sure. And pulling in the second with a 2-run double is Cooper Browning. Wow, what a turn of events. He swung away on the 1-0 pitch. Hit it well out to center. Crystal made a great effort on the sliding attempt. It hit off his glove, got by him. And now the Colonials lead 5-4.
Oh, God. Beautiful hit and a great effort out there in center. Just unable to come up with it.
So Boscovich and Clay cross the plate. Stefan Leo went all the way over the third. And same situation, second and third, nobody out. Now Darnell, the leadoff man, up. He's 1 for 2. And what do you think the approach is as a batter with the infield all the way in? Marshall, what's your approach with the infield all the way in as a batter?
My approach here, I'd say we want to be taking here.
Even with a 1-1 count? Oh, he does take a fastball right down the chute, strike 2. That pitch looked pretty good to me.
That was a very solid pitch.
Now you wonder, will Leo go on contact? Well, we'll have to wait and see. As Darnell strikes out swinging, there's 1 out. Big out for Green. That brings up Levi Hall. 0 for 1. He walked in the third. He walked in a run, part of that 3-run inning for the Colonials. Now, Marshall, you have 1 out here. Do you send Stefan Leo on contact?
I think you do.
Takes high, ball 1. Interesting decision. They put Leo in to run for the catcher Lopez. He runs fairly well. 1-0, up and away, 2-0. If you're Levi Hall, you know what's coming. Green's not trying to trick you. He's trying to throw the ball over the plate. Here's the 2-0. He takes high, 3-0. Green light or take here, Marshall?
I'm going to go against my better judgment and say green light.
Here's the 3-0. Looks like he had the green light, but he takes inside, ball 4. Hall walks on 4 pitches. And the bases are loaded once again with 1 out. Let's see, Northstars manager coming back out once again.
There's still nobody in the Northstars bullpen, surprisingly.
And that's going to be it. Green hands him over the ball. That'll be the end of his pitching performance today. He did his best, position player. I'll mention that again. He's allowed 2 runs this inning, and the bases loaded are his responsibility. This time, we'll be back in a moment to talk about the new pitcher. We're back with a new pitcher, ladies and gentlemen, so here's where we stand. We're on the top of the 5th inning. Colonials have scored 2 runs, taking advantage of some walks, and a big double. So they lead 5-4 now. Scheduled hitter is Jed Downham, and the new pitcher is Federico Sanchez. You mentioned him warming up in the bullpen a few minutes ago. He's a catcher. He's caught 3 men stealing for what it's worth. And at least look on the mound, looks like he has a good arm. So Jed Downham, he's 1 for 2. He had that soft infield hit that hit off the glove of the second baseman Curdy that eventually allowed 2 runs to score. So he's 1 for 2.
If you're a position player coming in, what a stiff challenge to face for your first hitter.
So the mid infield playing a little further back, trying to turn 2. They're about halfway, as Downham is ahead in the count 2-0. Danger zone for the Northstars, middle of the lineup coming up too. And the bases are still loaded, outside 3-0. I think the Northstars are also, whether they win this game or not, they're waiting for the time limit to hit. About 20 or so minutes until we hit the 2-hour mark.
Nice.
So maybe we'll play the 6th inning, depending on how the rest of this 5th turns out. Is that to strike at the knees? We'll see who comes out for the 5th for the Colonials, because Joel French is dumb. We got word of that. And Downham takes down low, ball 4. Another run is forced in on a walk. This time Leo crosses the plate. So now it's 6-4 Colonials. Fifth walk of the inning issued by Northstars pitching. And again, all position players. That brings up Sean Garcia. He's 0 for 2 today. This game's not over by any means. That's down and in, ball 1.
1-0.
You know, we saw it was Browning who swung away, and swinging away there hitting it foul is Garcia. I was about to ask you, Marshall, about a take sign, but frankly, we've seen green lights throughout this inning on the opportunities that Colonials have had.
We have, and it's paid dividends.
No, our big analytics guys down there, they're big fans of green lights. They don't like the idea of giving away a strike. Here's the 1-1. That's inside 2-1. And right now, Sanchez isn't throwing quite as hard as he did in his warm-ups. Might be trying to guide the ball, perhaps. 2-1. Inside 3-1. I assume we're gonna see a green light. So 3-1 the count, bases loaded with 1 out. The Colonials have played 3 runs this inning. They lead by 2. Northstars are the home team for what it's worth. As he does get the green light, it's out to shortstop. Killigan up with it to second for 1. The first! And he's called off the bag. A late call from the field umpire. That took a while. Hopefully Sidler's okay at first. Looks like he is. Shaking up a little bit. So 2 runs cross the plate. So Cooper Browning would have scored easily on the play, and coming around all the way from second was Levi Hall. Great aggressive base running from him. It's 8-4. So Garcia reaches on a fielder's choice. He'll get 1 RBI. And I was told by Hammer, put an error up on the board to allow Hall to come all the way around. So I guess that'd be E6. So now the Colonials lead 8-4. Deshaun Thompson, the batter. He's 0 for 2, and he's ahead 2-0.
Striking at the best possible time again. We're both in the later innings and later on, and our time limit.
And, in a play like that, part of it is when there have been a lot of walks in, you start to get stiff on your back foot. It gets tougher to make plays. That ball's lifted, foul territory, and dropping foul behind Sidler. Good effort by him.
Very good effort. Unenviable to have to chase it over your shoulder and with that sun gleaming down.
Ball just wasn't hit all that high. So 2-1 the count to Thomas. For what it's worth, Sean Garcia, he's stolen just one base so far this season. Relatively short lead at first. Say that now since there's 2 outs. That? Oh, Marshall was ready for that. That foul ball came straight back, just barely at the top of the screen.
It had our names written all over it.
Marshall, that looked like it had the right angle, or if that got over the screen, it might have come back to the booth. But that was coming right at me.
A lot of foul balls.
Frankly, though, we might have had to also protect the our streaming computer here. We don't want that thing getting damaged.
We can't afford to lose that.
It's in the dirt 3-2. Garcia will be off on the pitch. Frank, I'm amazed this computer holds up, especially for these 9 a.m. games, the way the sun's hitting it. And like, it doesn't overheat. We've never had it shut off because of heat.
It's able to weather that sun. Don't know if it could.
Aha, I see what you did there.
Don't know if it could take a 90-mile-per-hour baseball screaming right into it.
Well, here's the full count. The runner goes, and it's down the way, ball 4. Garcia was almost halfway to second base by the time the pitch was delivered. No matter, though. So now the Colonials have batted around. Carter Fagan, the 10th man to come to the plate. He's 0 for 2 in the ballgame. So that would mean on first and second. Colonials have put up 5 runs here in the 5th. A chance for more, he takes outside. Nobody up in the Northstars bullpen. Wonder if they think about getting another position player up at some point. Throw behind the runner, and that ball skips into right field. So both runners will advance. To third goes Garcia, to second goes Thomas. Nope, never mind. Thomas stayed at first. So that'll be an error for Thomas to allow Garcia to go to third. Good idea throwing behind the runner, just skipped it in there.
An error-prone inning for the Northstars.
Is that the 3rd error this inning? I know it's 3 errors on the board.
I believe that is 3.
Oh, wait, no. 2 errors this inning. We have 1 error that occurred in the 3rd. Swing and missing on the 2-0. So 2-1 to Fagan. So we take a look at the schedule the rest of the way. Tomorrow and Sunday, the final 2 days of the regular season for the PSCL. There goes the runner from first. They're going to throw through to second, and Thomas is a dead duck over at second base. So he's caught stealing to end the frame, but not before the damage is done. Colonials put up 5 runs and on only 1 hit. And the side is retired. They lead 8-4, though, as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. So we're set for the bottom of the 5th inning. The Northstars have some work to do as it's getting late early. We're at about an hour, at the hour 50-minute mark, so we're at that weird in-between time where after an inning concludes, you have to kind of watch and see if a team takes the field again. So the Northstars trail by 4. Tyler Wilson's the new pitcher for the Colonials. He's been excellent. 1 win and a save to his credit so far this season. 3.46 ERA in 13 innings. 7 walks, 7 strikeouts. So relatively low strikeout guy, but gladly take that earned run average. Opposition only hitting a .170 against him. So he's been tough. Those the first 2 pitches low. 2-0 the count. Connor Caldwell at the plate. Walked and scored in the first. Grounded out in the second. That ball's popped up. Right side. And out of play into the concourse. Lopez gave it a look.
Good hustle there by Jed Downham.
So the Colonials are going to try and avoid using Alex Morales if they don't have to. Try and preserve the pitching. But anyway, as far as the schedule is concerned the rest of the way, as that ball's popped up on the right side, Bosovich makes the call on the catch, 1 out. Northstars play the Lumberjacks tomorrow, who came into today tied for first with the Blue Sox and the A's. Lumberjacks will now a half game behind both teams. They're off. And the Colonials get a day off tomorrow. They'll play their final game of the season against the Bombers. That's the 9 a.m. game here at Palm Springs Stadium. So we'll have that one live for you. On the outside corner, a called strike 1 to Thomas. Walked in the second, struck out in the first. Upstairs, 1-1. Hey Marshall, if they're able to hold on, this would be a huge win for the Colonials to try and get out of that 12-13 play-in possibility.
An enormous win for sure.
So the Bombers are 4-8. So a half game separates the Colonials from the Bombers. And same with a half game with the Coyotes and the Haymakers. So the Colonials, they hold on today, they win their last game, get a loss or 2 from either the Haymakers, Coyotes, or the Bombers, then they could very well avoid that play-in game.
That's enormous.
And if you're the Northstars only ahead by a half game of all those 12 seeds that are tied. So this loss could very well put them in that play-in situation.
Just might. There's a lot at stake here.
So that's ball 4, 1 out base runner for the Northstars. Austin Miller was the batter right there, and he's on at first. Now it's Mario Catalan. He's 0 for 2, ground up to short in the first, ground out to second in the third. Marshall, I really want to see before the end of this game if any of these shifts end up working out for our guys. We haven't seen a ball put in play where the shift has made a difference positively or negatively for the Colonials.
Been waiting for it all day. I want to see a double play. Hit to the shortstop just near second.
Oh, the right-handed batter, they're playing more of a regular depth. They've done major overshifts in almost all the lefties. The 1-1. That ball's lined out to right field. Right at Cooper Brown, he puts it away, 2 outs. So allowed out, but the second out nonetheless. As that brings up Killian. Walked and scored in the first, grounded out in the third on a nice play from Garcia. Marshall, I'm going to take a wild guess and say this could very well be it. Because I doubt the Northstars want to have to send another position player out to the mound.
Oh, they're not going to want to do that.
That ball skied out to center field. Thomas is over. He comes in. He has got beat on. He puts the way for the third out. here in the 5th. Let's see the Colonials react. Looks like the Colonials are not taking the field, and that's going to be the ball game. Colonials will celebrate their 4th win of the season. They fell behind 4-0 early. Joel French recovered. French has frankly earned the win. A big 3rd and a big 5th inning, and the Colonials come away with the victory.
A huge victory that shakes up the potential play-in game factor here at the tail end of the season. 2 terrific games today, just the kind of action you like to see, even though they're at opposite ends of the standings. Still a lot of quality baseball shaping up the end of a wonderful PSCL season.
Colonials move to 4-8-2 this season. Northstars fall to 4-8-2. So now both teams have identical records. For all we know, this could be a preview for that playing game, depending on how the rest of things shake out. But either way, that does it for us here today at Palm Springs.